Welcome, YouTubers, fellow preppers, and survivalists. Well, the storm is over here, and bunker held up just fine. The only incident I had here was little Miss Prepper. She made me let all the dogs in here. So when I went to let the dogs out during the storm, the wind was blowing so hard that it took man, I had a hard time closing that door. But other than that, we good. Dogs are eating. Kind of tight in here with all these dogs in here, but little Miss Prepper, she's so soft she wouldn't let me leave the dogs outside, the big dogs. But she's really nice, you know, and she cares about her animals. And it just turned daylight, and outside it's all torn. It's a mess. I got a lot of work to do around here. And I went and checked on my neighbors. And people make fun of me. You live in that bunker, you ain't got no windows. Well, let me tell you something about a bunker. You got to be able to see out of the bunker. So even though I don't have windows, I do have ways to see out. And also in a bunker, you got to be able to have ways to like open up spots where you can send projectiles out. Because if you're in a bunker, it's a coffin if you can't fight back. You know, and a lot of people have misconception about bunkers. My bunker is above ground. It don't have to be below ground to be a bunker. I don't know why people think that. I guess that, you know, they've never been in combat. They've never rolled up on a place that was fortified and have to fight. And we rolled up on bunkers when I was contracting, and they were above ground, and they were wreaking havoc on us, but we couldn't do nothing to them because their bunkers were built so strong. And a lot of their bunkers were built out of debris. They just drug stuff, piled it up, you know, and really had good fighting positions and just little holes. And we would wait, and we would target them holes, and we got a lot of them that way. You know, we'd just send them through the holes. But we're good here. Now, my neighbors, they lost a lot of windows. Because it got, you know, on further up, I know people that live, you know, I don't know, 30 miles away or so. And I don't know, we got hit extra hard here. I mean, it is a mess out there. I got a lot of work to do. But, you know, I got the Sawyer water filter among other water filtration systems. But I already had water. I'm good. I had everything I needed. I could literally stay inside this bunker for months. I have a way to deal with everything. And my solar, it didn't get damaged, but I knew we were going to have hurricanes here. So I made the solar where it's tied down really good. Now we didn't get much sunlight during it all, and I did pull my batteries down running the air conditioner because that's really the only thing that I run. You know, everything else is solar. So I just sit in here and watched YouTube, and when my batteries went dead, I went and crunk up the generator. But we're good. A lot of people's got to replace a lot of windows. A few people lost their roofs. But there's not even a ding in the bunker. Held up great. So I guess there's more than one reason to have a bunker. Not just, to hold off the horde of people that didn't plan ahead, when the grid goes down permanently, or when there's a food shortage so bad that people are raiding. But it's also it's good to have a bunker for bad weather. Now, if I lived up north, I would have an underground bunker also. But I still would have an above ground, above the underground, so I can fight out of it. These people that buy these bunkers and the underground bunkers, they're really easy to pray because they have to have ventilation. They have to have a way to get oxygen. So you just smoke them out. A lot of them, they got caps sticking out, and if I wouldn't do it because I don't need anything. I got everything I need. And if I was to lose all my preps, I got this. And that's the most important thing to prep is your brain. Because there's food to forage everywhere down here. So while everybody else is starving to death, I literally will be eating the weeds. So just this little hurricane is a good reminder of why you need to prep. Why you need to have a bunker. You can have a big solid concrete home. That's good. And I can turn a home into a bunker. A concrete home, any home. I can turn anything into a bunker. Hell, I could build a bunker up a tree. It's a misconception of what a bunker is. A bunker is somewhere you can dig in like an Alabama tick and hold your spot. But honestly, for me, it was really fun. I could hear stuff, it got bad here where we're at. I don't know why it got so bad here. There's still no power for everybody else. Only the people with generators have power right now where I'm at. But it's a good reason why to have a bunker for bad weather. I believe that this is going to start being a cycle. The water out in the ocean is getting so hot that it makes these hurricanes stronger. And eventually, if something don't slow down this heating, and I know there's a lot of people, they don't believe in this global warming. But what people fail to understand, there was a time when Florida was completely underwater. Then we got this ridge. We got a ridge that runs through Florida, and I go there a lot. I go all over Florida. Just to, I have lots of friends everywhere. But on that ridge, there's seashells and such, and so when the water level does rise due to whatever causes it, because a lot of people don't understand this global warming, it's not just humans. Yeah, humans, we have sped it up, but we're in a cycle, and we're in a cycle now of heat. And I'm not a science guy, but there's cycles on the planet, and we're in a cycle of hot. Even if there was no humans here, it would still be getting hot. The water level would still be rising. That's just the way things work. But everyone needs to, this hurricane, especially the ones that experienced it, they maybe, it probably didn't even put a dent in them. It probably did in their brain. They probably, didn't even, they're probably still not going to build a bunker to handle hurricanes. Some people, they just refuse to face reality. Maybe they think, well, if I don't build a bunker, I'll never need it. But I know that there's a lot of people, well, I've seen there's so many people that evacuated. Well, I don't live in a low-lying area, so I don't have to worry about storm surge. There's a lot of people that got scared and left when I would feel foolish. And I'm telling you, when they come back home, a lot of their stuff is going to be stolen. Because we have a methamphetamine problem down here in Florida, real bad. And those guys, they never sleep. All they do is steal. And so for a hurricane, they love them, because they're like, man, they watch who leaves. And then when the hurricane gets bad, they go and steal stuff. That was another reason, I had no reason to leave my bunker. But I also wasn't going to leave it because I didn't want anything to get stolen off the property. Because I got a lot of traps set out there. They would have, a lot of people would have got hurt trying to make it to here, even if I wasn't here. Because I do got traps out there. Now I want to tell you, setting up traps, be careful and don't get caught by your own trap. If you forget you got a board with nails there and you step on it, oops, you just stepped on your own trap. That's why, I'm so primitive is the way to go. All this high-tech stuff, it's going to fail you. So that's why I go primitive, mostly. Now, I do have a high-tech security system, that I could, camera system. And I don't show it, because the reason why I don't show it is I don't want people to see what I can see. But I literally have no blind spots. That's where my PTSD comes in, is that I'm always prepared. And I'm always ready to fight. I'm down for a good fight. I find that exciting. But yeah, there's a lot of people going to have to replace a lot of windows. I got no windows in this bunker. Wouldn't be a very good bunker if it did have windows. but I can see out. If you build a bunker, you need to be able to see out, and not just on your cameras, because just with a pellet rifle I could take out people's cameras. And if you're in a bunker and you can't see out, you're literally in a coffin. But we did good. Not a problem here. There's a lot of cleanup needs to be done. There is no power for the people that weren't ready. But most of us, like I said, I live out in the woods. We're country folks. We got generators. We got everything we need. And we already got a plan. Even neighbors that don't get along, we still get along, when times are rough. And we can literally block this road off where they can't nobody come in or out, and put guards down there when it gets bad. But I'm just assessing the damage outside, and it's a mess. I got a lot of cleanup work here. I done sharpened my chainsaws, so after I clean up just enough, I'm going to go out and see if I can't make me some money. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, though, that's part of this channel started out, is to help disabled veterans. So those are going to be the first homes I go to. I got a lot of Vietnam veterans that are just too old. Well, some of them are. I know some guys that are 70 years old that you don't want to mess with them. They're in good shape. And then a lot of 70-year-olds, they can't hardly get around. I think it's got a lot to do with staying active and how you live. But I know this one guy, he's almost 70 years old, and that joker's, he's jacked, he's strong, and he's tough. So for most young guys, he would whoop them. Like me, dude tried to rob me a little while back, and it ended badly for him. He's lucky I didn't kill him. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I did not kill him is because he was young, on the young side. And if I would have killed him, and when the cops came, they said, man, you should have killed him because he's done this to other people before. Well, I didn't know that. Or maybe I would have. I really don't want to have to kill nobody. But I was just thinking, because I was mad. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, man, this guy going to try to rob me? What the hell? So I was pissed off. And I did hook him with the knife in a non-vital area. I reached around, I'll tell the whole story on a whole nother video, but I had him, and I pulled him to me. And I'm like, look, man, you're going to give me my money back. And he did. But then after I pulled the blade out of him, I did let my temper get the best of me, and I was like, oh, hell no. So I beat him really bad. And maybe I taught him a lesson. I know there's a lot of people, oh, you shouldn't have. Opinions vary. But I will tell you this. If that would have been my wife that he attacked, or a female or a child or an elderly man, I would have killed him. He's lucky. And the only reason why I didn't kill him, honestly, is because he's young. And not that I think he'll ever change, but I didn't want to put that burden on his mom and his dad that they had to bury their child. Now, he wasn't a child, but, he was their child. He was grown. If he was a child, I just would have been, I would just beat the hell out of him. What the hell are you doing? But I didn't want his mom and dad to have to bury their son. That's really the only reason why I didn't kill him. Because, you need to think about that. In a survival situation, you're going to have to put things like that out of your head and not worry about it. But it was a survival situation, kind of, sort of. The dude was hitting me hard. He come up to me and he just come up to me and started beating me in the back of my head. Well, I'm used to getting hit, so it wasn't no big deal to me. And he had a bad day. And really, it really didn't faze me. I was just pissed, this guy tried to rob me. But that's how it's getting, I guess he saw this gray and thought, oh, that guy'll be easy to rob. Well, he's going to have scars. And I did break him a lot. Now, I was angry. And I normally don't get angry. If it would, like when I'm working security, I don't get angry because I don't take it personal. But when someone tries to rob me, I take that personal. So, after I pulled my knife out of him in a non-vital area, I made sure I got him in a non-vital area because I really didn't want to kill him. Now, there is times, when I'm having a bad day